This past Sunday was the third Sunday of Advent, the day we light the pink candle of joy. And for this week, Dr. Gaffney has chosen Matthew's genealogy of Jesus for the gospel text, which you may recall is the family line from Abraham to Joseph, the husband of Mary, or Miriam, as she will be called in our passage today, of whom Jesus was born. So, how will reading a genealogy work for imaginative contemplation? I thought about skipping this passage and moving ahead to Advent 4, since our pattern in the past has sometimes been to contemplate the passage for the upcoming Sunday instead of the Sunday that just passed. But I didn't, and let me tell you why. As you probably are aware, Gaffney usually provides her own translation for the lectionary texts. But this week, for today's reading, she chose to print an adaptation of Matthew's passage that focuses on Jesus's foremothers instead of his forefathers. This adaptation was compiled by the late Sister Anne Patrick Ware of the Sisters of Laredo religious community. It has been around for many years, and perhaps you've seen it before many times, but it is really powerful. And as I sat with it, I decided that it might be quite fun to turn it into a contemplation. And unfortunately, I was traveling this week on Monday and Tuesday, so I didn't start working on it until yesterday, which meant I didn't have near enough time to geek out on these women as I would have liked. But I really enjoyed working on this, and I hope to pick up this project again later. So we might do this contemplation again next Advent, even if it's not one of the lectionary texts that is chosen, because this is a really fun project. And speaking about projects connected to Christmas genealogies, Advent genealogies, I wonder if any of you are using this Advent devotional that Joanna Harrader, I don't know how to say her last name, just published. She is the pastor, I forget which, she's a Mennonite pastor. I forget which congregation she's with. I believe she's in Kansas. And Peace Mennonite. Thank you, Paula. It is so good. It's Expecting Emmanuel, 8 Women Who Prepared the Way. And I'm not even going to start talking about it because it would take up way too much time, because it is just so good. But I'm going to be reading 2 selections from it to close our time of silence today instead of the psalm, so that you can get a taste of the goodness from this book. So without further ado, I am going to light my candle as a representation of God's presence with us here today. And I invite us to just rest for a moment in God's presence. And I pray for these graces: a deep curiosity for God's dream for the world, and wonder for the mystery of the incarnation. Matthew 1:1-16, adapted. A genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of Miriam, the daughter of Anna. Sarah was the mother of Isaac, and Rebekah was the mother of Jacob. Leah was the mother of Judah. Tamar was the mother of Perez. The names of the mother of Hezron, Ram, Amminadab, Nahshon, and Salmon have been lost. Rahab was the mother of Boaz, and Ruth was the mother of Obed. Obed's wife, whose name is unknown, bore Jesse. The wife of Jesse was the mother of David. Bathsheba was the mother of Solomon. Naamah, the Ammonite, was the mother of Rehoboam. Maacah was the mother of Abijam and the grandmother of Asa. Azubah was the mother of Jehoshaphat. The name of Jehoram's mother is unknown. Athaliah was the mother of Ahaziah. Zebiah of Beersheba, the mother of Joash. Zechariah of Jerusalem bore Uzziah. Jerusha bore Jotham. Ahaz's mother is unknown. Abi was the mother of Hezekiah. Zephzibah was the mother of Manasseh. Meshulameth was the mother of Ammon. Zedidah was the mother of Josiah. Zebedah was the mother of Jehoiachin. Zebedah was the mother of Jehoiakim. Nehushta was the mother of Jehoiachin. Hamutal was the mother of Zedekiah. Then the deportation to Babylon took place. After the deportation to Babylon, the names of the mothers go unrecorded. These are their sons: Jeconiah, Shealtiel, Zerubbabel, Abiud, Eliakim, Azor, and Zadok, Achim, Eliud, Eleazar, Matthew, Jacob, and Joseph, the husband of Miriam. Of her was born Jesus, who is called Christ. The sum of generations is therefore 14 from Sarah to David's mother, 14 from Bathsheba to the Babylonian deportation, and 14 from the Babylonian deportation to Miriam, the mother of Christ. Amen. So before I guide you through the passage with some questions and pauses, I invite you to take a couple of centering breaths. Breathing in God's Spirit and breathing out anything that distracts you from being here in this space. And I pray again for today's graces, a deep curiosity for God's dream for the world, and wonder for the mystery of incarnation. I invite you to enter the story. A genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of Miriam, the daughter of Anna. Sarah was the mother of Isaac. What do you remember about Sarah? Where she grew up? Where she traveled? How she was treated in Egypt twice? Recall her complicated relationship with Hagar, the Egyptian woman she enslaved. And how she let out a belly laugh when she overheard the messenger say she would bear a child. That child whom she named Isaac, the one who laughs. And Rebecca was the mother of Jacob. What do you remember about Rebecca, who was quick and decisive, as she immediately left her family to go with a stranger to be wed to Sarah's son? Imagine the 20 years that passed before she bore her twins. Leah was the mother of Judah. Leah, the one with the weak eyes, whose father tricked Rebekah's son into marrying her instead of her younger sister, whom he loved. What do you recall about her life? Anything other than being one of 4 women who mothered the children of Israel? Tamar was the mother of Perez. Tamar also knew heartache. What do you know about her life? Widowed twice, mistreated by her father-in-law, whom she tricked to become the mother of twins. The names of the mothers of Hezron, Ram, Aminadab, Nahshon, and Salmon have been lost. Imagine what complex lives these 5 women lived. full of joys and sorrows. Rahab was the mother of Boaz. What do you recall about Rahab, the Canaanite innkeeper who hid 2 Hebrew spies under bundles of flax on her roof? Because she was unafraid to deceive her king, she and her family lived when Jericho fell. Imagine what it felt like to lose her city and start a new life with the people who destroyed her people. And Ruth was the mother of Obed. What do you recall about Ruth from the land of Moab? She also knew heartache, lost her husband and left her people, and sought refuge under the wings of Yahweh. Obed's wife, whose name is unknown, bore Jesse. Imagine her life with all its richness, pain, goodness, and sorrow. The wife of Jesse was the mother of David. Do you suppose she was still alive when Samuel showed up at their home in Bethlehem to anoint the successor to King Saul that Yahweh had chosen? If so, do you suppose she would have been surprised that it was her youngest who was anointed? Bathsheba was the mother of Solomon. What do you remember about Bathsheba? Do you recall the life she lived before David chose to take her? How did her life change from that point on? Naamah, the Ammonite, was the mother of Rehoboam. Imagine Naamah's life as one of Solomon's many women. Her son ruled Jerusalem for 17 years as Judah did evil in the eyes of Yahweh. During this time, there was continual warfare between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. How might Nehemiah have reacted to this? Maacah was the mother of Abijam and the grandmother of Asa. Maacah's son ruled for 3 miserable years, but her grandson Asa did the right things in Yahweh's eyes and ruled for 41 years. There was tension between Maacah and her grandson because she made an image of Asherah. Because of this, Asa had her removed from the position of Queen Mother. Imagine the trauma this would have caused. Azubah was the mother of Jehoshaphat. Like Maacah's grandson Asa, Azubah's son Jehoshaphat did the right things in Yahweh's eyes. How do you imagine Azubah spent her days? The name of Jehoram's mother is unknown. Do you suppose she was alive when he reigned for 8 years and did evil in the eyes of Yahweh? Athaliah was the mother of Ahaziah. Athaliah's son reigned as king of Judah only 1 year before being killed in battle at the age of 23. Imagine how her heart broke when her son died. She snapped and ordered the execution of all possible claimants to the throne. But Ahaziah's sister saved her nephew, Joash, from death by hiding him for 6 years, while Athaliah, the queen mother, reigned Judah. Zebiah of Beersheba, the mother of Joash, of whom little is known. Jecoliah of Jerusalem bore Uzziah. Her son was only 16 years old when he began his 52-year reign over Judah. Jerusha bore Jotham, who led Judah for 16 good years. Ahaz's mother is unknown. He was 20 when he became king of Judah and reigned for 16 years. Abi was the mother of Hezekiah, who spent 29 years trying to bring religious reformation to Judah. Hephzibah was the mother of Manasseh, who reigned for 45 years in Judah after the northern kingdom had fallen to the Assyrians. Meshulameth was the mother of Ammon, who was assassinated after reigning for 2 years. Jedidah was the mother of Josiah, the great reformer, who became king at the age of 8 and reigned for 31 years. Jebedah was the mother of Jehoiakim, who reigned for 11 dreadful years. Nehushta was the mother of Jehoiachin, who reigned for only 3 months. Hamutal was the mother of Zedekiah, who was made king of Judah by Nebuchadnezzar in 597 BC, at the time when the Babylonian Empire was conquering the land. Then the deportation to Babylon took place. After the deportation to Babylon, the names of the mothers go unrecorded. But they are still present. These are their sons: Jeconiah, Shealtiel, Zerubbabel, Abiud, Eliakim, Azor, and Zadok. Achim, Eliud, Eleazar, Matthew, Jacob, and Joseph, the husband of Miriam. Of her was born Jesus, who is called Christ. The sum of the generations is therefore 14 from Sarah to David's mother, 14 from Bathsheba to the Babylonian deportation, and 14 from the Babylonian deportation to Miriam, the mother of Christ. These are the mothers who birthed and nurtured the sons in the ancestry of Christ. They lived complex lives. Some of their stories have been preserved. May we remember them. I invite you to spend the next 10 minutes in a colloquy with the divine. Speak to God about what you experienced during the contemplation. What might God want to say to you about your life or the life of your community as it relates to this text. When I sound my chimes, it will indicate that you have about a minute to wrap up your colloquy, after which time I will end the silence with two blessings from this book. If you're doing this contemplation later with the recording, go ahead and hit pause now. Spend as much time in reflection as you need, and then restart the video when you're ready to hear the blessings being read. I will close the silence first with Tamar's blessing, the reading from December 1st on page 31 of this book. It is not your fault, but it is your grief. The death of those you have loved, the betrayals of those who should be trustworthy, the ways you have been neglected, and the shame they have invoked to kindle the fires. It is your grief, but it is not your fault. No matter what they say, you are free in God, free to cry into the night, to wail and weep, and to wear your widow garments for exactly as long as you like. Free to name those who betray you in private and in public, with truthful words, proper or not. Free to insist on your own existence and importance, to take up whatever space your body and soul need to inhabit. Free to turn the shame back on those who deserve it, to light the fires that warm and enlighten rather than those that destroy. Wear this blessing as a signet. Tie it around your waist as a cord. Carry it as a staff to support and protect. May the God of cloud and fire lead you in the wilderness, providing room for your grief, support for your anger, comfort for your pain, attention to each part of you. May the God of cloud and fire burn away your shame to reveal your shining wisdom, your unmistakable power. And the blessing from December 13 on page 69 for Ruth. Dear friend, we will face deep disappointment and unbearable grief. Emptiness will taunt us. Hunger will gnaw. It will seem impossible to travel to the unknown land, and more impossible to go back to the fatally familiar. But oh, dear friend, we will also be startled by beauty and catch glimpses of joy. Contentment will sneak up on us. Abundance will delight. We will realize that while the entire journey is impossible, the next step is not, nor is the next. So for each step you take toward that foreign land of home, I offer this blessing to kiss and to cling to. May you have courage to leave where you've been, to travel where you're going, to do what needs to be done when you get there. May you have indifference about how much credit you get, but how many times they say thank you, and whether or not they call you by name. May you have wisdom in the work you choose, the roles you fill, and the generosity you exhibit. And through it all, In and around and under and above it all, may you be guided by love. Amen.